Welcome to Your Good News. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. This is a show dedicated to nothing but things that will make you smile or at least help you find some hope and faith in humanity. The world is a rough place, and sometimes we just need to hear a bit of the good things that are going on. Let's start with the signs of the season. Right now, hundreds of visitors are checking out the Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular at the Minnesota Zoo. It is one of their most popular events, but not many people know what it takes to keep this attraction glowing all season long. We're talking about a staff of pro carvers continuously creating their works of art for the entire run of the event. We'll tell you why and how they do it, and even get you a few tips for your own jack-o'-lantern skills.
I never actually seen this many pumpkins in my whole life.
Prepare to be floored.
I think she's the one that got hit with the house.
By the most amazing collection
Big giant clown.
of gourds.
There's the ginormous pumpkin. There's the tiny little ones.
The Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular at the Minnesota Zoo is exactly that, a feast for your senses.
I can't even count, even though I want to count.
Don't worry, kiddo, we've got you covered.
So there's over 5,000 jack-o'-lanterns that light the whole forest from the ground to the trees.
Brian Christensen is with Passion for Pumpkins, the company hired by the zoo to make the night come to life.
This pile over here is going out today.
Planning actually starts in early September, designing the trail and getting a jump start on pumpkin production.
So we'll do over 200 pumpkins before the show even opens. And then we just have round 2 already prepped, and we'll be able to carve those as needed.
Why? Because the show is 40 days long and nature's gonna do what nature's gonna do.
As soon as you gut them, it's just a time bomb ready to explode out on a trail. It's in the middle of the woods. There's bugs, there's fruit flies. Temperatures are erratic.
At any one time, there are more than 100 of these intricate carvings on the trail, with 10 to 20 being replaced each day. Up to 600 being carved over the course of the show.
This is an astronaut pumpkin.
Which means it takes a team to help keep things terrifying.
It's almost done. I think another 30 minutes should be ready.
Nick has been working on this pumpkin for about 6 hours. He's one of 20 artists who, for a couple of months a year, step out of their real world to be part of this Halloween experience.
So I've done a lot of work on video games and some advertising campaigns, stuff like that.
Now, he's a sculptor of squash.
Once you get into the flow of it, it's kind of meditative almost.
Erin, too.
Well, I'm working on the Boundary Waters.
You can usually find her teaching both drawing and painting.
But you kind of need these big pumpkins to be able to get it to glow the right way. And I don't even know where I'd buy one.
The pumpkins weigh in at 50 to 120 pounds. The artists start by drawing and painting using black ink. Then they do something called relief carving, using tools like sharpened bobby pins on wooden dowels, somehow creating entire scenes by making highlights and shading using nothing but the pumpkin for color. Only then are they scooped out.
We'll take it in this dark room and we'll be able to make final touch-ups, knowing exactly what it'll look like out on the trail.
This is Brian's take on American Gothic. He, by the way, is a tattoo artist, among other things, in his other life. And when this temporary art becomes food for the squirrels, another will replace it, meaning every time you visit, the experience is different.
I haven't seen anything like this before. We really appreciate the time it took to do something like this.
So I guess it's true. The devil really is in the details.
I really liked that.
Rena Sargentopoulos, KARE 11 News.
Well, in case you're curious, the carvers use a special variety of pumpkins called Prize Winner. Brian says they are smoother and have softer skin. The Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular runs through November 2nd. You can get your tickets online. All right, so here are some tips for carving at home. Brian says cut the hole and gut it from the back instead of the top. That way you don't weaken the structure by cutting through the top there. He also says try using a drywall saw. It works better than those small tools that usually come in those kits. And use an orange marker so you don't see the parts of the design that you left behind. Well, now to a different kind of performance. Theater La Te Da in Northeast Minneapolis just celebrated the final performance of its 100th production. As Heidi Wigdahl explains in this week's Behind the Business, it's one of many milestones for the theater company.
At Theater La Te Da, every performance takes the audience on a journey.
I think that I have found a home, and the theater community here is unlike any other place in the world.
Artistic director Justin Lucero's journey brought him to Northeast Minneapolis 2 years ago this week.
It has been a really amazing 2 years.
On the streets of Dublin.
2 years of Theater Latte Da's nearly 30 years.
So in the 28-year history, we've already put on 100 shows. Journey On, which is currently playing here in Northeast Minneapolis, is a celebration of all the 99 shows that came before.
Nothing's gonna harm you.
So it's a retrospective where we look at where we've been.
Not only is it their 100th production, the new season comes as the Ritz Theater is turning 100 years old.
It is known to be an anchor spot culturally for this street and this community.
Theater Latte Da bought the Ritz in 2016, another celebration, this one of 10 years. Latte Da is one of the few professional theater companies in the country dedicated to only music theater, from classics reimagined to brand new shows.
We also are ending an initiative we call 25 by 25, which was our ambition to support the development of 25 new musicals over a 5-year period.
They've met the goal, and this season ends with a world premiere.
A commission of a new adaptation of the classic novel My Antonia turned into a musical. Latte Da is a tradition and a legacy that I inherited, but it just feels like a privilege that I get to keep it going.
Setting the stage to Journey On.
The theater will be performing My Fair Lady starting on November 12th. They offer a variety of discounts to help make theater accessible to everyone. Well, here's a heartwarmer for our first line heroes. The Hennepin EMS team has a new teammate. Their new therapy dog joined them back in August to help them navigate trauma, including the Annunciation shooting. Ian Russell introduces us to Rigsby, supporting first responders through their toughest days.
Our worst days come and go.
When you work in a field like this, you have a lot of stress.
Theirs happen much more often. Hennepin emergency staff see tragedy daily, holding on to it long after patients move on.
And you see a lot of really sick patients, and you hold on to that stress.
At the heart of heartache, these staff also need a chance to heal. Deputy Chief of Staff Mary Welch says that's where he comes in.
We are doing everything we can as an organization to make sure that our staff feel supported, and he does a really good job of that.
4-month-old Rigsby might not understand tragedy the same way we do, but he sure knows when folks could use some help.
See them have joy when they walk into my office or into the department and see him. It's been fantastic.
The English Springer started 2 months ago, his second day.
One of his first weeks was actually the week of the Annunciation shooting. That was a really, really difficult week for all of us.
A needed helper that the group who donated him says couldn't have come at a better time.
That's the purpose of Rigsby. Somebody else is going to call 911 and say, I need you for X, Y, and Z. And they have to pick up and they have to move and go to that next call.
We could all use a little help on our worst days.
He's been a fantastic addition.
Days made easier with support like this.
I'd love 1 million of these. If we could get 1 million more Rigsbys, it would be great.
In Minneapolis, Ian Russell.
He actually just got his portrait last week.
KARE 11 News.
Still to come, kids doing darn good things and making parents proud. But first, here's some of your good news that you shared with us this week. How fun is this? Howard Green says, I took my daughter Brooke to the Gopher football game Friday night and we rushed the field. Look how much fun. He says, I am 62, by the way, and she is 22. I love this. Memories forever. Kelly Johnson sent in a pic of their dog Jimbo, who turned 15 last week. Looking good, Jimbo.
Yes.
Side note, he is from the Bond Between. Got him when he was 16 weeks old.
Even better.
Lifelong friend. Sue Evans says, our first ever family trip this past weekend with my kids and grandkids, to Knife River, north of Duluth. A great time, and the weather and fall colors were perfection. All 9 of us braved the infamous haunted ship in Canal Park, by the way. Super fun. I've never done that.
I haven't either.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to go sometime. And Bill Riley sent us this. We have an annual visit to Whitewater State Park for camping, fun, and the Riley Pumpkin Carving Project. It's nothing like the pumpkin carving I knew as a kid, he says. Another great job. Welcome back. Now is the time for those fall bike rides, which are already plenty scenic. But for one East Metro community, the bike scene just got even better. As our CeCe Gaines explains, they can now thank a Girl Scout.
Let's get ready, guys.
We've always been an active family. Go Boo!
The Bartons of Woodbury are no strangers to the city's bike trails.
We really like to get out and explore.
But lately, they've been able to enjoy a new landmark at Powers Lake Park.
You just put it up there.
And that's all thanks to a 14-year-old Girl Scout.
You could have to adjust the seat.
Patty Barton noticed there wasn't a place on the trails to stop and fix basic bike issues.
Find the wrench that fits your seat.
So she fixed that.
I researched it on my own, calculated the cost, and then I approached my mom, my troop leader.
I think pride is too small of a word. I don't know. To think that a 14-year-old was able to get something installed for an entire city is pretty dang impressive.
Impressive that she's helping people she may never meet.
I did a little ta-da moment when I first saw it.
It didn't take much to convince the city.
She's just like, I want you guys to help install it and help keep it up. And he's like, you're not expecting us to buy it? And she's like, no, I'll take care of that.
Patty sold over 2,000 boxes of Girl Scout cookies to help raise the money.
Congratulations!
And met her goal this summer.
It really speaks to the fact that leadership isn't about age. It's about seeing the need to solve a problem and acting on it.
The first Facebook post was the one that was like, oh my gosh, people are using it.
Patty's project helps complete strangers, but it's inspired by someone she knows very well.
I wanted to do something in honor of my dad because I was really, really scared that I was going to lose him.
Patty's dad, Zach, had a heart attack and a triple bypass at the end of 2024.
Walking to the bus stop to get the kids, I felt pain in my chest. I was cold.
He spent 11 days in a Maplewood hospital.
I went to the hospital when I could.
There were so many things that I could not do.
Zach's slow and steady recovery pushed along by Patty.
As part of the recovery, I needed exercise. And as I got stronger, Patty wanted to start riding again.
Take off, girlfriend.
Like we did many years ago.
There you go.
Helping him get moving again wasn't just about recovery.
I push him to keep active because I know if he doesn't, then he might not be there in 10 years.
It was also about keeping a promise to walk Patty down the aisle.
I'll hear a song and I'll be like, Dad, wouldn't this be a great song for our daddy-daughter dance?
Even while juggling school, Girl Scouts, and caring for her dad, Patty kept going.
There's always more trails and more adventures that we can have.
The repair station became a way of turning a hard season into something good.
It is humbling to have your daughter work on something for you. She inspires me.
To Patty, it's not just about who you help.
Love you, kiddo.
It's about making a difference that reaches.
I do love you.
Beyond yourself.
Mom and I are both very proud of you.
Yeah.
Patty did receive her silver award, for the project and is already planning what she'll work on next to get her golden award. Well, next up, Friday Night Lights and a heartwarming story that will get you in all the feels. Here's Will Hall.
During a recent Friday on the Sidelines, a father and son playing catch caught my attention. Naturally, the journalist in me wanted to learn more. Turns out it's a pretty cool story about inclusion.
In life, it's a blessing to give more than you receive.
We tried to figure out a way to give back to the team. So much they've given to us.
Some lessons learned.
Will's always there for us.
Some lessons felt.
How are you having a good day? I'm good. It always brightens their day. Always. I mean, it's every single time.
And some lessons seen. To some, this is just a game of catch on the sidelines.
It's fun. It's exhilarating.
For Eric Batson and son Will, Friday Night Lights are everything.
It has been a chance for me and Will to bond and grow together. It's an experience.
Will is a senior at East Ridge High School and serves as the ball boy on the football team.
I came up and asked the coach if he needed a ball boy, and I explained that Will was high-functioning autistic. I know the team and the family bond that comes with playing high school sports, and I wanted my son to have that experience.
He's always a guy on the sideline bringing the energy, and he has a job on this team just like everyone else does, and he lives for it, and he loves it, and we love to see him here, and it's super fun to have him.
Raptors head coach Dan Fritzy has been coaching at Eastridge since 2009.
You know, just seeing him smile on the sideline, throw the ball around, it really brightens our day.
He's shared the sidelines with Will and Eric for the last 5 seasons.
When we talk about football teams as a family, that's about inclusion. Like, if you commit to who we are and what we do, then you're included, and no one is different.
Every Friday in the fall, father and son share their joy with others, lifting up teammates, helping out on kickoff duties.
What's your favorite part?
Kickoff.
Kickoff? All right, go get it.
As a way to say thank you to the program, the Batsons created an annual scholarship for a Raptor senior football player.
It was just a way from our heart to just say, we can't express how priceless this has been for us, and this is our way of saying thank you.
Will's legacy, one of gratitude and giving, and that's a lesson for all.
It was a way of us being able to give back to the team and help somebody on the team the way they've helped Will.
In your job, whatever it is in your life, you want to strive for personal greatness. Ball boy, coach, player, doesn't matter. And he's really setting the example of that, of striving for greatness no matter what you're doing.
I know a lot of people say it.
In Woodbury,
I'm the proudest dad in the world.
Will Hall, KARE 11 Sports.
If you're interested in helping out with the Batson Family Scholarship, we do have a link for you at kare11.com. And now to kids learning new skills. There is a significant shortage of skilled trade workers in the U.S. right now. The St. Paul School District is looking to change that. They're pushing for a permit to build a heavy machinery sandbox as part of an outdoor trade school. Ian Russell will show us how it will work.
A lot of times we feel out of place. But ask Brandon Redmond.
So we're trying to grade it.
And he says this just feels right.
This seems like what I'm going to do.
Yeah? Inside this St. Paul Public Schools classroom, Brandon and a handful of other students are learning how to work heavy machinery in a much lighter way.
Built ourselves a nice big site here.
Remotes and RC excavators are one way students can learn, but teacher Dusty Thune says nothing compares to the real thing.
It's like sending your kid off to college or something and hoping they don't break anything or send you the bill.
From this sandbox to the real one.
So Mondays and Fridays we're in the classroom right here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we're outside.
Students in the district may soon learn how to operate the real things right here. Logistics are pending.
It takes 1,000 hours of seat time to get proficient at track skiers or anything else that we're using.
The real sandbox will look like this, a massive version of the one in the classroom.
And we're helping to build up the next generation of operators.
Students will learn from operating engineers Local 49. Akithia Lloyd, a crane operator by trade and career navigator with the union, says students receive elective and college credit, even leading them to a potential career.
As well as apprenticeship credit, leading them into the apprenticeship program. Now, I mean, I wish I had something like that in high school.
So while they wait for approval to build, students keep on building in here. A chance to learn hands-on and build a career.
This looks like a really good option to me. You know, like it's right there. All I need to do is just put in a little bit of effort and I'm there.
In St. Paul, Ian Russell, KARE 11 News.
Still to come, a new home for a longtime Twin Cities radio station and the Purple fans coming out in force. But first, here's more of your good news that you shared with us this week. Seth Coleman sent this in last Friday morning. I went to grab my grocery delivery from the porch. On my way, I could hear what only could be described as cries for help. I opened the door and was immediately greeted by the whitest, fluffiest little bandit I had ever seen. I asked all the neighbors if their kitten had got out. Nope. It was just a few seconds later that he leapt from the ottoman onto my chest, climbed on my shoulders, and started making biscuits. Just like that, I found the friend I was always looking for, or more accurately, he found me. I love him so much.
Making biscuits.
Making biscuits, yep. Sam Swenson says on Sunday, October 5th, my husband Matt completed his 5th marathon and I completed my first 10-mile race.
All right.
We did it as a fundraiser for an organization called Mile in My Shoes. It's an organization that partners with recovery centers, homeless shelters, veterans organizations, and re-entry centers for people exiting incarceration and then bringing those individuals into the running community. Completing the TC 10 mile for Mile in My Shoes was one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever been a part of.
Very cool.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah. And Julie from Apple Valley simply says, Twister has been rearranging blankets and pillows to snuggle in for the winter. I feel you, Twister. That was me yesterday. Welcome back. A popular Minneapolis radio station is taking the first step toward building a permanent home. KMOJ already has some money from the state, but it still needs millions more. The station's new home will be on the northwest side of town, near the intersection of Lowry Avenue North and Penn. Tonight, Gordon Severson explains how this massive project will benefit the community staple.
Over the last 50 years, KMOJ has moved 4 times, and radio station leaders tell me they are excited to finally have their forever home here in North Minneapolis.
3, 2, 1.
Since 1976, KMOJ has been a voice for the community.
This is amazing to me. 14 minutes after the hour.
Walter Banks Jr., known by his stage name Q-Bear, has been a DJ with KMOJ for more than 40 years. He remembers the station's humble beginnings, when their signal could only reach a few neighborhoods on the city's north side.
I always used to tell people that the signal only went as far as you could throw a rock. And I mean literally, because it was right in the neighborhood.
Thanks to new technology, the radio station now has a worldwide reach, playing hip-hop and R&B and talk shows that provide a voice to everyone in the community.
KMOJ Radio has curated the soundtrack of our lives.
Minnesota Senate President Bobby Joe Champion says the legislature approved nearly $1 million in bonding money to help KMOJ kick off a $17 million fundraising campaign.
Others are going to match and commit, and community's going to chip in, so it's going to be a true community effort.
Station managers say the station is being pushed out of their current home due to the Blue Line expansion. Their goal is to have the new 10,000 square foot building ready by 2028.
What we're building here isn't just a building, it's a home for the voices that deserve to be heard, not marginalized.
I learned that the radio station's name, KMOJ, was inspired by the Swahili word umoja, which radio station leaders tell me means unity. And they want to keep that spirit of unity and community going for another 50 years here at this site. Gordon Severson, KARE 11 News.
Pretty cool. Well, Purple Rain the Musical is making its world premiere at the State Theater in Minneapolis. The musical is based on the iconic movie and album, of course, by Prince. Photojournalist Jack Stanek has more on the excitement surrounding the show's opening night.
Of course I love Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
It's really cliche, but it might be Purple Rain.
I've been waiting 40 years for this to happen.
What are we most excited for in the show?
Music. Let's get crazy. Let's get nuts.
Prince's music was a one of a kind when it first came out in the 80s.
How he grew up in Minneapolis and just started from nothing by himself and just is Prince made, really. And he's a legend.
Definitely a revolutionary, his band, Prince and the Revolution, obviously properly named.
The lyrics are so pure. You can't listen to a Prince song without it sucking you into the narrative and into every note.
He's on the soundtrack of my life.
We can't wait to see how they do the choreography with the music. I just think it's going to blow our
and to dance with the music. Yeah. And that this is the world premiere and we're seeing it first, so that's super cool.
There have not been previews for this. This is the preview. This is the moment. This is what we're all here for.
And when they finally sing Purple Rain. Oh, that's what I'm frosting on the cake.
And I'll probably cry.
Yeah.
The show is at the State Theater through November 23rd. Tickets are still available to most of the shows. After its run in Minneapolis, Purple Rain will head to Broadway. All right, let's take a final listen to some of your good news that you shared with us this week. Larry Carr from Hastings sent this in. I'm 77 years old. I just recently earned my 5th degree black belt in martial arts through National Karate based here in the Twin Cities. Although I've been in martial arts for almost 20 years now, I do regret that I didn't get into it sooner in life. It is a great pursuit for anyone looking for an invigorating retirement. Larry, you are an absolute inspiration. Congrats and keep kicking butt.
How about those action shots?
Right? I know, so cool. Tim O'Shaughnessy says, Millie and I are a therapy dog team. We go to nursing homes and hospitals. We just achieved 100 volunteer hours over the last 2 years, and she just turned 5 in August. She looks forward to many more visits. You are doing good things in this universe, Tim and Millie. Keep it up. You are appreciated. Look how cute she is. I can't even take it. And Minnesota's Katie Baker is in Australia right now and just finished competing in the 2025 World Triathlon Championships in the sprint distance for Team USA. Congrats, Katie. Good luck to you in the future. Thanks for joining us for Your Good News. If you'd like to share your good news with us, we do it every day at the end of our 4 p.m. newscast. Just send us an email to yourgoodnews@kare11.com. Be sure to add pictures or video of whatever it is that you'd like us to share. No news, no good news, I should say, is too big or too small. Maybe you got married, maybe you added a new furry member to your family, or maybe you're just spending good time with good friends. Doesn't matter. We just want to hear about it. Well, until we see you again, have an excellent week, friends.